Episode 3. Zhang Zhuo reprimanded Ding Yuan at the Wenmei Yuan meeting, and Li Su presented treasures to persuade Liu Biu. Speaking of Ka that day to He Zhen, he said, the calamity of eunuchs has existed throughout ancient and modern times. However, the sovereign should not grant them excessive power and favor, leading to such a situation. If you want to punish the guilty, just eliminate the root cause. It is enough to entrust the jailer. Why call in external forces one after another? If you aim to completely eradicate them, the matter will be exposed. I predict that they will surely fail, He Zhen angrily replied. Does Ming also harbor personal intentions? Ka withdrew, saying, those who create chaos in the world must be eliminated. He Zhen secretly sent orders, dispatching messengers with confidential edicts to various garrisons. Now, the former general, Marquis of Oxiyang, and governor of the Western Luoyang, Zhang Zhuo, initially failed to defeat the Yellow Turbans. When discussions rose about punishing him, he bribed the Chen eunuchs and escaped punishment. Later, he formed connections with influential court figures, obtaining prominent positions and commanding an army of 200,000 in the western provinces. He often harbored rebellious thoughts. At this time, receiving the imperial edict brought great joy to him. He raised troops and gradually sat down, appointing his son-in-law Niufu to guard Shaanxi, while he himself led Li Zhu, Guoxi, Shangji, Fan Chu, and others to march towards Luoyang. Zhang Zhuo's son-in-law and strategist, Li Ru, said, even though we have received the imperial edict, there are many hidden motives. Why not send someone to submit a memorial, justifiably stating our intentions? Significant achievements can be made. Zhang Zhuo was delighted and submitted a memorial. In summary, it stated, I heard that the chaos and rebellion in the world are all due to the disrespect of the eunuch like Shang Rang. I propose to eliminate Shang and others, as removing the fuel is more effective than stopping the boiling pot, and tearing an abscess, though painful, is better than nurturing poison. I dare to sound the alarm and request permission to enter Luoyang to eliminate Shang and others. The state and the people will benefit greatly. He Zhen received the memorial and showed it to the high ministers. The census anti-objected. Zhang Zhuo is a wolf. Once he enters the capital, he will surely devour people. He Zhen said, you are overly suspicious and not fit to plan major affairs. Lucy also objected. I have long known Zhang Zhuo's character. He appears friendly, but is ruthless at heart. Once he enters the Forbidden Court, disaster will surely follow. It's better to stop him from coming to avoid causing chaos. He Zhen did not listen, and both Zhang Tai and Lucy resigned from their positions. Most of the ministers at the court also left. He Zhen sent someone to welcome Zhang Zhuo and Mianqi, but Zhang Zhuo remained stationed without moving. Shang Ran and others, aware of the arrival of external forces, discussed together, saying, this is He Zhen's plan. If we don't strike first, our whole clan will be exterminated. They secretly stationed 50 men with knives and axes inside the G8 gate of the Changgu Palace. They then went to Empress Dowager He and said, now, the Grand General has falsely summoned external forces to the capital, intending to wipe us out. We implore your majesty for mercy and assistance. The Empress Dowager said, you should go to the Grand General's residence to apologize. Shang Wang said, if we go there, our flesh and blood will be minced. We hope your majesty will summon the Grand General to the palace and instruct him to stop. If he does not comply, we will only plead for death in front of your majesty. The Empress Dowager then issued an edict summoning He Zhen. Having received the imperial edict, He Zhen proceeded. The chief clerk, Chen Lin, advised, this edict from the Empress Dowager must be a plot of the Chen eunuchs. It is imperative not to comply. Disaster will follow if we do. He Zhen replied, what harm could there be in the Empress Dowager's edict? Yuan Shao said, the plan has leaked. The matter is exposed. General, do you still wish to enter the palace? Cao said, first, summon the Chen eunuchs on, and then it would be appropriate to enter. He Zhen laughed and said, this is the view of a child. I hold the power of the whole empire. How dare the Chen eunuchs resist? Yuan Shao added, if you insist on going, we will escort you with selected troops to guard against unforeseen circumstances. Sir, Yuan Shao and Cao each chose 500 elite soldiers, appointing Yuan Shao's younger brother, Yuan Shu, to lead them. Yuan Shu was fully armed, leading the troops stationed outside the King's Gate. Shang and Ka, with swords in hand, escorted He Jin to the front of the Chang'o Palace. The chief of the Yellow Gate transmitted an order, saying, "The Empress Dowager specially summons the Grand General, others are not allowed to enter freely. Yuan Shao, Ka, and others will be out outside the palace gates." He Jin boldly entered. When he reached the gate of G8 Hall, Shang ran and Wen Gui came out, surrounding him. He Jin was greatly alarmed. Shang Rang sternly accused He Jin, saying, "For what crime did Zhang Zhuo's Empress die of poison? The Queen Mother mourns and is confined due to illness. You, a mere butcher boy, were elevated by us to serve the Son of Heaven, bringing you honor and wealth. Instead of repaying with loyalty, you conspire for harm. You claim that we are corrupt, but who among us is truly virtuous?" Panicking, He Jin sought an escape route, but the palace gates were closed. Armored soldiers emerged, and He Jin was cut into two. Later generations lamented in a poem the fate of the Han dynasty was on the brink, and He Jin eventually became a minister. Ignoring loyal advice multiple times, he met his end by the palace sword. After killing He Jin, and with Yuan Shao not seeing him come out for a long time, he loudly called outside the palace gates, "Please have the general board the carriage." Shang, Ren and others threw He Jin's severed head over the wall, proclaiming, "He Jin conspired in rebellion and has been executed." The rest who followed him are all pardoned. Yuan Shao loudly exclaimed, "Eunuchs have conspired to murder a high-ranking minister. Those who wish to punish the wicked, come and assist in the battle." He Jin's subordinate Wu Kuang set fire outside the Kingswell Gate. Yuan Shu led the troops to break into the palace courtyard, indiscriminately killing all eunuchs, regardless of rank. Yuan Sha and Ka breached the gates. Shao Zhuang, Chen Kong, Xie Yan, and Guo Shang were cornered in front of the Huihuachar and hacked into mincemeat. Flames soared in the palace. Shang Rang, Duan Gui, Cao Ji, and Hong Lan took the Empress Dowager, the young emperor, and Prince Chen Liu, escaping through the rear passage towards the northern palace. At that time, Lucy, who had abandoned his post, witnessed the chaos in the palace. Donning armor and wielding a spear, he stood on a chariot. Seeing Duan Gui forcing the Empress Dowager towards him, Lucy shouted, "Duan Gui, the rebel! How dare you abduct the Empress Dowager?" Duan Gui turned and fled. The Empress Dowager jumped out of the window, and Lucy hurriedly saved her. Wu Kuang entered the inner courtyard and saw He Mao wielding a sword. Kuang shouted, "He Mao conspired to harm his brother. Let's kill him together." Everyone agreed, "We're willing to behead the traitorous brother." Mao tried to flee but was surrounded and hacked into pieces. Yuan Shao then ordered the soldiers to split up and kill the families of the Chen eunuchs, sparing no one regardless of age or size. Many innocent individuals were mistakenly killed. Meanwhile, Ka worked to extinguish the fire in the palace and trusted the Empress Dowager with the authority to handle important matters, and sent troops to pursue Shang Ran and others, searching for the young emperor. Continuing the story, Shang Ran and Duan Gui forcibly took the young emperor and Prince of Chen Liu, fleeing amidst smoke and fire, running through the night until they reached the Baimeng Mountain. Around the second watch, loud shouts were heard from behind, and troops approached. Among them was Ming, a county official in the central part of Hainan, who shouted, "Rebels, hold!" Seeing the Yu Zhenxi, Shang Rang threw himself into the river and died. The emperor and Prince Chen Liu, unaware of the situation, dared not speak loudly, hiding in the grass by the riverbank. Soldiers scattered in pursuit, unaware of the emperor's whereabouts. The emperor and the prince hid until the fourth watch, with Zhu Fangling and hunger growling. They huddled together and wept silently, fearing discovery, and swallowing their sobs in the thick grass. Prince Chen Liu said, "We cannot linger here. We must find another way to tie their clothes together," and climbed up the riverbank. In the dark, with thorns covering the ground, they couldn't see the path ahead. In desperation, a myriad of fireflies appeared, illuminating the surroundings and guiding the emperor forward. Prince Chen Liu said, "This is heaven helping us, brothers." They followed the fireflies and gradually found the path. By the fifth watch, their feet were sore, making it difficult to walk. Near a hillside, they found a pile of grass, and the emperor and the prince lay down beside it. In front of the grass pile was a farmhouse. Earlier, the owner of the farmhouse, Kui Yi, had dreamed of two red suns falling behind the farmhouse. Startled, he rushed down, looked around, and saw the red glow rising from the grass pile. Hastening to check, he found the two lying by the grass. Kui Yi asked, "Whose sons are these?" The emperor dared not respond. Prince Chen Liu pointed to the emperor and said, "He is the current emperor, escaping the chaos caused by the Chen eunuchs. I am Chen Liu." The prince Kui Yi was greatly shocked, kneeling down and saying, "I am Kui Yi, the younger brother of the former minister of works, Kui Lai." Witnessing the corruption and jealousy of the 10 eunuchs, I could hear he then helped the emperor into the farmhouse, offering food and wine. Meanwhile, Ming caught up with Duan Gui, captured him, and asked, "Where's the emperor?" Gui replied, "We got separated on the way, and I don't know where he went." Gong killed Duan Gui, hung his head under his horse's neck, and dispersed his troops to search. Gong himself rode alone. During his search, he coincidentally arrived at Kui Yi's farmhouse. Seeing the severed head, he inquired, and Kui Yi provided detailed information. Gong took Kui Yi to see the emperor, and they wept together. Gong said, "The country cannot be without a ruler for a day. Your Majesty, please return to the capital." Kui Yi, recognizing the emperor, offered his only skinny horse for the emperor to ride, and Gong shared the horse with Prince Chen Liu. Leaving the farmhouse, they had not traveled 3 miles when a large group of people, led by Minister Wang Yan, Grand Commandant Yang Bao, Chief of the Left Army Sha Tiao, Chief of the Right Army Sha Meng, Chief of the Rear Army Bao Shen, and Chief of the Central Army Yuan Sha, arrived to welcome the emperor. Everyone wept. They first sent someone to send Duan Gui's severed head back to the capital as a proclamation, then provided better horses for the emperor and Prince Chen Liu to ride, escorting them back to the capital. Earlier, there was a local nursery rhyme in Luoyang that said, "The emperor is not the emperor, the king is not the king, 1,000 chariots and 10,000 horses rushed to Baimeng." This prophecy was not fulfilled. As the imperial carriage moved forward, suddenly flags covered the sky and dust filled the air. A massive force approached, causing panic among officials and startling the emperor. Yuan Shao quickly rode out and asked, "Who goes there?" A general emerged from the embroidered flags and shouted, "Where is the emperor?" The emperor trembled and could not speak. Prince Chen Liu reined in his horse and questioned, "Who are you?" The general replied, "I am Dong Zhuo, the inspector of Western Liang." Prince Chen Liu said, "Are you here to protect or abduct the emperor?" Dong Zhuo replied, "I've come to protect the emperor." Prince Chen Liu said, "Since you're here to protect, why not dismount when the emperor is present?" Dong Zhuo was shocked and hastily dismounted, going on the left side of the road. Prince Chen Liu comforted Dong Zhuo with words from beginning to end, and there was no mistake in his speech. Dong Zhuo secretly marveled and had already harbored thoughts of deposing the emperor. That day, they returned to the palace and met Empress Dowager He, both weeping. Upon inspecting the palace, the imperial seal was missing. Dong Zhuo stationed his troops outside the city, entering the palace daily with armored cavalry, causing unrest among the people. He freely roamed the palace, showing no restraint. Rear Army Commandant Bao Shen visited Yuan Shao, expressing concerns that Dong Zhuo had ulterior motives and should be eliminated quickly. Yuan Shao said, "The court has just stabilized. It's not wise to act rashly." Bao Shen also discussed this with Wang Yan, who said, "Let's discuss this further." Bao Shen led his own troops away, heading towards Mount Tai. Dong Zhuo tempted the soldiers under the command of He Zhen's brothers, who all pledged allegiance to him. Privately, Dong Zhuo asked Li Ru, "I intend to depose the emperor and enthrone Prince Chen Liu. What do you think?" Li Ru replied, "Currently, the court lacks a firm leader. If we don't act now, there might be changes." Tomorrow, in the Wenming Garden, gather the officials, declare the decision to abdicate, and behead those who resist. The authority must be exercised today. Dong Zhuo was pleased. The next day, a grand feast was arranged, and all officials were invited. Fearing Dong Zhuo, none dared to stay away. Dong Zhuo waited until all officials arrived before slowly dismounting at the garden gate, carrying a sword as he entered the banquet. After a few rounds of drinks, Dong Zhuo ordered the cessation of wine and music, sternly saying, "I have something to say. All officials, listen carefully." Everyone attentively listened as Dong Zhuo continued. The emperor, as the ruler for the myriad people, should conduct himself with the proper dignity, serve the ancestral temples, and protect the country. The current emperor is weak, and it would be better to have Prince Chen Liu, who is intelligent and studious, ascend to the throne. I intend to depose the emperor and enthrone Prince Chen Liu. What do you, esteemed officials, think of this? After hearing this, the officials remained silent, afraid to voice their opinions. Continuing the story, during the banquet, a man boldly stepped forward and shouted, "Unacceptable! Unacceptable! Who are you to speak such audacious words? The emperor is the legitimate son of the late emperor without any fault. How dare you discuss abdication and usurpation? Are you planning rebellion?" Zhuang Chuan angrily rebuked him, saying, "Those who obey me shall live, those who oppose me shall die." He unsheathed his sword, intending to execute the man. At that moment, Li Ru noticed another person behind the man with a commanding presence, holding a guandao type of polearm and glaring angrily. Li Ru hastily said, "Today is not the time to discuss state affairs. Let's reconvene tomorrow at the court hall for a proper discussion." Others advised Deng Yuan to leave on his horse. Duang Zhuo questioned the officials, asking if his proposal was justified. Liu Si spoke up, saying, "Esteemed lord, you are mistaken. In the past, when King Taiji was incompetent, Yi Yin sent him away to the Cong Palace. When King Changyi ascended to the throne, he committed over 3,000 crimes in just 27 days, leading to his deposition by Grand Tutor Luo Guanzhong. Although the current emperor is young, he is wise and virtuous without the slightest fault. You, Lord, are a regional inspector who has never been involved in state affairs and lack the extraordinary talents of Yi Yin and Luo Guanzhong. How can you forcefully suggest abdicating the throne? The sage says if one has the spirit of Yi Yin, it is acceptable. Without the spirit of Yi Yin, it is usurpation." Duang Zhuo, angered, drew his sword, intending to kill Lucy. However, Kai Yong and Peng Bo advised against it, fearing a negative reaction from the people. Duang Zhuo restrained himself. Wang Yan, the minister of the masses, suggested that discussions about abdication should not occur during a banquet, and that they should reconvene another day. The officials dispersed. Duang Zhuo, with his sword still drawn, stood at the garden gate, suddenly seeing a man on horseback wielding a weapon. Duang Zhuo asked Li Ru, "Who is this?" Li Ru replied, "This is Deng Yuan's adopted son, Yaobu." "My lord, you should avoid him." Zhuang Zhuo retreated into the garden. The next day, news arrived that Deng Yuan had led his troops outside the city, challenging Duang Zhuo to battle. Duang Zhuo, angered, led his army, accompanied by Li Ru, to face the challenge. The two armies faced off, and Aobu, clad in a flamboyant battle robe and riding a red hare, advanced alongside Deng Yuan. Deng Yuan accused Duang Zhuo of causing turmoil in the country, and Duang Zhuo tried to escape. Yaobu, with a swift horse and a fierce demeanor, chased after Duang Zhuo. Duang Zhuo's forces suffered a major defeat and retreated over 30 miles to set up camp. Duang Zhuo gathered his advisors to discuss the situation. He said, "I have observed that Aobu is no ordinary man. If I can get him on my side, why worry about the entire empire?" A man stepped forward, saying, "Lord, don't worry. I share the same hometown as Yaobu and know he is brave but lacks strategy. By using my eloquence, I can persuade Aobu to submit and betray Deng Yuan. Would that be acceptable?" Duang Zhuo was delighted and asked Li Ru for his opinion. Li Ru said, "If you can get a powerful ally like Aobu, what's the harm in it?" Duang Zhuo gladly agreed and rewarded the man with 1,000 gold pieces, several dozen precious gems, and a jade belt. The man was Li Su, a subordinate of Zhuang Zhuo. Li Su left with the gifts and went to Aobu's camp. However, Yaobu was surrounded by soldiers on the way. Li Su confidently told them to report to Aobu that a friend had come to visit. Once he entered, Yaobu asked, "Brother, how have you been?" Li Su saluted and said, "I hold the position of the Central Tiger General now. I've heard that my worthy brother is stabilizing the country, and I'm overjoyed. I have a famous horse called Red Hare, capable of covering 1,000 miles in a day, crossing water and climbing mountains like walking on flat ground. I present it to you to enhance your might." Aobu ordered the horse to be brought in. It was indeed a fiery red horse, no stray hairs, over 1 yard long from head to tail, and 8 feet tall from hoof to neck. It neighed and roared, giving the impression of soaring through the clouds. After seeing the horse, Aobu was delighted and expressed his gratitude. Li Su then presented a large sum of gold, precious gems, and a jade bow. Yao Bu asked, "What is the meaning of these gifts?" Li Su replied, "These are sent by General Dong Zhuo, who admires you." Red Heron, "These gifts are for you." Yao Bu was pleasantly surprised and promised to surrender the next day. Li Su took his leave. Yadi, the second watch of the night, Lu Bu entered Ding Yuan's tent with his halberd. Yuan was reading by candlelight, and upon seeing Liu Bu, he asked, "What brings my son here?" Liu Bu replied, "As a nobleman, how can I be your son?" Yuan inquired, "Why has Fengxian changed his heart?" Liu Bu stepped forward and beheaded Ding Yuan, shouting to those around, "Ding Yuan is unrighteous, and I have killed him. Those who are willing to follow me, stay. Those who refuse, leave." Many soldiers scattered. The next day, Liu Bu carried Ding Yuan's head to meet with Li Su. Su then brought Liu Bu to see Dong Zhuo. Dong Zhuo was overjoyed and treated them to a feast. Dong Zhuo knelt down and said, "Today, I have gained the general, like drought-stricken seedlings receiving sweet rain." Liu Bu accepted the gesture, and now, saying, "If you do not abandon me, I would like to formally acknowledge you as my adoptive father." Dong Zhuo rewarded Liu Bu with golden armor and a brocade robe, and they drank merrily. From then on, Dong Zhuo's power grew stronger. He took charge of military affairs, appointed his younger brother, Dong Ming, as the life general and marquis, and conferred upon Liu Bu the titles of cavalry commandant, chief of the imperial guard, and marquis of the capital. Li Ru advised Dong Zhuo to quickly plan for the deposition of the emperor. Dong Zhuo hosted a banquet in the court, gathering officials, and ordered Liu Bu to have over 1,000 armored soldiers guarding the surroundings. On that day, Grand Tutor Yuan Wei and other officials arrived. After several rounds of drinking, Dong Zhuo drew his sword and declared, "The current emperor is weakened, cannot uphold the ancestral temples. Following the examples of Yin Yan and Huo Guang, I will depose the emperor and make him the king of Hongnong, while establishing Chen Yuan as the new emperor. Anyone who opposes will be executed." The ministers were terrified and angry, not speak. Colonel Yuan Shao stood up and said, "The current emperor has not been on the throne for long, and there is no evidence of his misdeeds. If you want to depose the legitimate heir and enthrone another, isn't that rebellion?" Dong Zhuo angrily said, "I hold the fate of the world in my hands. If I decide to do it, who dares to oppose? Do you think my sword is not sharp?" Yuan Shao also drew his sword and said, "Your sword may be sharp, but mine is not blunt either." The two confronted each other at the banquet. It was a moment of justice sacrificed, and Yuan Sha's fate hung in the balance. Please listen to the next episode. Dong Zhuo deposed the emperor of Great Han, enthroning the prince of Chenliu as the new emperor. Ka, under the pretext of presenting a sword, intended to secretly assassinate Dong Zhuo.